Okay, at 6 o'clock, we'll call to order the regular city council meeting for Tuesday, July 14th, 2026, and Craig's going to lead us in prayer.
Let's pray. Father, we just ask tonight that you watch over us, give us good guidance. We've got some decisions to make. We just want to do what you want us to do for the best city, for the city of Geneseo. So please be with us, keep us safe, keep us cool. In Jesus' name we pray.
If we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Brandon, roll call.
Barnhart.
Here.
Swanson. Kenneth. Rothschild.
Here.
Chavez.
Here.
James.
Here.
Samowski. Arnold.
Here.
Okay, we do have a quorum. Next on the agenda would be the Chamber of Commerce report. Good evening.
Can you turn that mic on? Thank you.
Is that better? Yep. All right. Last time I was here, I think I was like maybe 3 days in or something like that. So I've had a little bit more time now to get my feet under me a little bit, kind of figuring it out. So far, since the last time I was here, we've had Music Fest, which on Saturday was a beautiful day. It went really well. We had the pageants on Friday, which went really well. And then unfortunately on Sunday, we got rained out with the Father's Day parade, but not a whole lot we can do about the weather. Upcoming events, we have sidewalk sales July 24th and 25th. So a lot of the downtown businesses are participating, bringing their deals outside for shoppers. We've got trains, planes, and automobiles September 10th to the 12th. And then we've got our annual dinner, the Chamber annual dinner on November 5th. Our theme, we are bringing in this year's eras of Geneseo. So every year moving forward will be a different era of Geneseo, kind of highlight some of the things that went on in like the 80s, 90s, etc. Our nominations are open for the business awards for the annual dinner. So we've got like our 5 signature business awards, Business of the Year, Rising Star, Lifetime Achievement, those ones. So nominations are open for those. If there's any businesses that will be a good fit, those are on our website. We are getting underway for Christmas Walk as well. So December 12th, it's hard to think about Christmas when it's 100 degrees outside, but we're trying. We've got a Home for the Holidays theme, leaning into kind of like our Hallmark movie-esque stuff for Christmas. So that is what we're working on for events coming up. Some other things we got going on behind the scenes is we have just implemented a member management software. So we are currently undergoing integrations for that. So we're hoping that that helps with organization and value for our members. And then last but not least, we've got our YIFT Chamber gift card program where you can buy a gift card and use them at participating businesses downtown. So there's a buy 100, get $50 promotion going on. So we're really doing a push for that to support local businesses. And that's kind of the highlights. Any questions?
Let's bring a couple of Hallmark actors.
Yeah. There we go.
Women fly.
We need to get Hallmark in to come and film a movie.
Have you guys thought about, I know a few people have talked about with the Music Fest, rebranding it a little bit and, like I personally would love to see it more downtown and more involved with the businesses. Is that something that's being discussed? Just ideation. I mean, when we don't talk about ideas, we start to stagnate.
Yeah, we had a big actually recap meeting after Music Fest about how we should do a big rebrand of it. So we tossed around ideas of bringing it downtown, leaning more into the actual music side of it and bringing in maybe some larger names and stuff. So we've got a lot of ideas in the works for next year.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Well, that used to be when it was the music festival, we had drum and bugle corps, and there was probably 10 or 12 of them from all over. And so it was a big deal and it lasted a long time. It was a weekend competition and stuff. And that's where the Music Fest actually came from.
Interesting. Awesome. All right. Thanks.
Next on the agenda.
Would be the city engineering report. Lauren.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Give you an update on our construction projects first. The North State Street, all the underground work is done and they have poured 1/4 of the mainline pavement and have started pouring driveways on that side. With any luck with good weather, they should be all done with mainline paving by around the end of the month, and hopefully driveways and sidewalks to follow. On the sidewalk project out there on Chicago Street, most of the sidewalk is put in on the east side of the road, all the way from Exchange all the way up to Wells, just with a few tie-ins. And I think they're finishing up driveways and a few other connections now. So they're proceeding on project. Well 33, we're currently working with Geneseo with their source water protection plan, their corrosion study, and we're kind of getting some additional samples that are required by EPA. So I believe Geneseo just taken those additional samples. For the pedestrian bridge, there is no really update there. Still waiting to hear back from IDNR. The well project, we have started working on the PER. We've had conversations with IEPA for clarity on the direction of what we had talked with Brandon and Mayor regarding on how we would like to proceed on that. So we're continuing working on the preliminary engineering report. And then on the Ford Road sanitary sewer project, we're working with NICOR and their subconsultant on offsets to the lift station of their gas main so they don't have to relocate them. The issue is there is then we would have to ask for a bigger easement from them potentially. And I was talking to Brandon and the mayor beforehand, if NICOR doesn't want to give us an easement, maybe we have to look at changing design and coming up with an alternative. So we'll have to figure that out here shortly, because if we don't get a easement, then we need to make changes so that way we can get that going. So that's what I have. Anybody has any questions?
Is there any reason they wouldn't give you an easement?
It's their ground. They don't have to.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank
Laura.
you.
Yep. Okay, next on the agenda would be public comments related to agenda items. City ordinance allows members of the public to speak and give input up to 3 minutes. During public comment, there can be no debate or action by the city council at this time. Any members of our public?
I wanted to speak, but I don't know if it would necessarily pertain to your agenda.
Okay. Go ahead, come on. Yeah, I'm supposed to, but
Hello, I'm Megan Sundin. For some of you that don't know me, my parents were here in the 1940s, 50s. My parents were high school sweethearts. My dad was Mr. Popular for being in the athletics. He was very well known, and my mother was a drum majorette. My father was an orphan on the orphan train in 1943. He was adopted here. I didn't even know that growing up. I grew up with Sean. I'm a year younger than Sean. There's so much history to him that I didn't know, and I offered to Geneseo Current when they were looking for an article to write about something in the community. I offered that story to them of him being a combat veteran. He was drafted. And when he came back, he surrounded us with racehorses. My entire life, as Sean probably knows, I was with racehorses, and it was not by choice because it was his survival. So when he died out at Hillcrest, when he wasn't around the horses anymore, his PTSD came back. We didn't know who he was. So I founded a nonprofit in honor of him. And I did that 10 years ago. So I had been around Henry County and had tried moving back to this area because I really want to serve this community, because I have my own trauma from this growing up here. So when I did that, I boarded out there north of town and met Mr. Barnhart. He was at the former Bell's Air. So I'm writing to you because I just want to give you that little precursor how I'm fitting into this, but my complaint is on Mr. Barnhart. So as you know, Geneseo Current put out their article magazine here a week or so ago, 3 pages with his organization that he's president of. That I watched all of this unfold, and he financially exploited 2 elderly gentlemen that had owned that public farm for 30 years, and he had not paid them a dime from.
yeah.
Okay, I'm just saying.
So-
Okay, so I respectfully request an independent review of the actions of the Geneseo Alderman Brett Barnhart concerning his involvement with the operations of a local horse breeding facility and his current concurrent leadership of a local nonprofit organization. From my personal observations, Mr. Barnhart became deeply involved in the daily operations of the facility, eventually managing its business affairs despite the elderly owners reportedly never.
Okay.
Okay, so let me just
Megan,
give this. Is
Megan,
potential financial,
Megan.
oh, all right. I just want to give this so that it's,
Okay.
you have, who do I give it to? You or Mr. Hoff?
Yeah, you can give it to me. Or, yeah. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other members of the public with public comment?
Sorry, what did you say?
Any other members of the public that wish to make a comment?
I have a few things
Okay.
just want to ask about.
Okay.
I've never been here before.
Can you come forward, please? That way everybody can hear with the mic. I know. We're a pretty welcoming group.
I'm Beverly Miller. I'm a hairdresser here and been here forever. And I just have some questions about what's going on in Geneseo. I noticed these kids riding their skateboards on, I work right here on Oakwood.
Yep.
And there are children riding these things, what I think is wrong. They're riding double behind each other, side by side, holding on to one another to drive these skateboards with motors on them. And I think they're too young. And I think something should be done about this.
Yep.
School is going to be starting, and I think there'll be an accident sometime where one of these kids are going to get hit by somebody or just driving extremely fast up and down Oakwood. I live there. I've worked there for 17 years, and I've seen a lot of things there that I think are wrong. And I've asked the cops on special occasions. Cruise the Loop night. I live there. I've had the cops there. They drive crazily, loud, noisily, fast. Then they stop quick, and someday somebody's going to get hurt. And I don't like the noise. And that isn't the old cruise loop for Geneseo. I rode the cruise loop, but we just rode around and waved at our friends. We didn't make noise. So that was the skateboard thing is really a subject I think should be addressed.
Yeah.
I just think of the kids. They don't know nothing. They're just children.
Right.
And most of them are underage. I know they're none of my relation. I shouldn't worry about it, but I do because I see it. One child was holding on to somebody else on a skateboard, and he wasn't in any control of his own skateboard. He couldn't have been. Car would have came out, and there's people that don't drive right in this town. I see it all the time. And in fact, I've seen a very prominent resident in Geneseo that was on the left-hand side of my road driving down Oakwood to get to Worth's Plumbing and Heating. And then he crossed over. So, I mean, I do see things. I sit there and watch people, and I'm working too, but I don't know. Those things are bothering me. And I thought I should come here and talk about it.
Yep.
I've never been here before, and I'm very nervous.
Yeah.
Also, I've had customers tell me about the dump. Why isn't it open? Why isn't it? It's closed for quite a long time now. And why can't people go out there and dump their clippings out? I mean, it's not open till when? Can you tell me that? The Geneseo dump?
Yeah, so it's open. We have open dates in both the spring and the fall. That was something that the council passed, I want to say about a year ago to address, was really centered around the question of trying not to be a burning facility anymore. There were a couple of stray fires, one almost, burned about an acre back there, and without dragging this on too much, with the goal of not burning anymore, which leads into the discussion of then you have to shred all of the waste. And there's more cost to that and staffing. And so we did the council established set days for disposal around spring cleanup when you're getting your yard ready, and in the fall to provide days for when leaves are falling and sticks and things like that.
I
But a
know
little
I
bit
have-
more structure than
I know I
just,
have some things that need to be taken to the dump. I can't do it.
yeah.
Yeah.
We have weekly pickup curbside.
But that costs us money. Does that cost me money to do that?
Well, I mean, operating the landfill costs you money too, because we have to pay the people to take care of it. So there's a cost either way. I mean, it's ultimately
Well, there's a,
filtered down through the taxpayer.
I'm just talking because I don't know a lot about the stump, but I know people are like, why isn't it open? It's open. I wrote it down on my appointment book, but it's a long time yet before. But the public can just go there and dump their clippings. I'm one of them.
Yeah, that was
Mhm,
another issue.
Yes, and I do understand that.
We're paying for them to dump, and they don't even live here.
Yeah, but you were checking everybody's
So it's
coming in and goings by their driver's license. I know
vicious
I've
cycle.
had mine checked.
It's just like, we've been fighting it for years, and
Mhm,
we're doing the best we can.
I know, we all are.
And this is just we started this year, but this is just a pilot. We're gonna reevaluate in the fall.
Uh-huh.
So if there's people that have concerns, I'd ask them to come to the council meeting
Yeah.
and bring their concerns so we can hear it, but yeah, so,
I don't know why people don't come here. Of course, I'm one of them.
yeah.
I just assume
So-
everything is taken care of.
Yeah. No, if you've got questions, you're more than welcome to come anytime.
That's why I'm here, because I usually just stay home.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, that would be the best thing. Just
What's that?
contact your alderman. Yeah.
Okay.
Always happy to answer questions.
And then I've had other customers complain about, well, not complain, but ask me, what are you doing out here? Is this going to be a water fountain? Pardon?
Yes.
Why?
We're not supposed, I mean, it's your opportunity to speak. We're not supposed to have a
Oh.
debate or
Oh,
action
I'm
at
not,
this.
you're not supposed to answer my questions?
Well, there's other opportunities to do so, this specifically for
Well, what
public
is the
comment.
reason for can I ask why the reason for the water fountain?
There's a host of reasons. Brandon would be happy to have that conversation with you.
Okay, yeah, sometime. That'd
Yeah.
be nice. Well, I'm just wondering who's paying for it? Who's paying for all that work out there that's doing the
We
water
are.
fountain? And we already have a fountain over by the phone company that
Mhm.
runs down the wall.
Like I said, there's a host of reasons that I think would be satisfactory.
Okay. Okay.
We're not trying to be difficult, but.
No.
No, I'm
Right.
really not, and I'm not
It's,
either.
No, I'm just letting you know, we're happy to talk.
right.
I've just had people go, what
Yeah.
are we doing with the water fountain? What's the purpose of it? We don't need it. Who's paying for it?
Oh, yeah, for sure. The city
You
is
know,
very,
and I'm a hairdresser and I
Yeah.
listen to it.
oh, no,
Right.
it's good. The city is very open. So
Yep.
I would encourage you to reach out to Brandon, reach out to any of your aldermen. Happy to discuss. We're just not supposed to
Is it
answer any.
paying bills around town?
Pardon me?
Is it paying bills around town? Helping
Right.
the
Again-
public
Yeah,
out
again,
here?
okay.
Absolutely.
No.
I welcome public comment at any time, but we have strict rules and I've specifically announced 3 minutes and we try to hold everybody to that standard because that way it's fair
Okay,
and we're not supposed to have debate or action. This is your opportunity to address the council.
okay. And also the public is complaining about our utility bills, how high they really have gotten to be. And I have some of my clients are just asking, geez, why is it so high? We're paying things we don't even know what we're paying. And I'm like, well, I don't know. I look at my bill too. I had a rental gal working for me a year ago or so, and my bill is higher than when I had her there. I'm working by myself now. So, I mean, it is high. It's over 200. And I'm just by myself. I don't have children, nothing, and it's it's a lot of money for a single person, but I'm single. So that was another issue, brought it up.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank
There's
you.
my list.
But please reach out to us. We're happy to discuss and answer questions. Please.
Okay, but I do feel that the water fountain's really not necessary. What was wrong with what we had there? Just another thing.
Happy to talk about it.
And it's unfortunate too that our businesses are closing. There's, the Curious Cargo,
Yeah,
unfortunate. That was
I'm trying to be respectful of your time, but we also have business we have to take
gee,
care
I'm a
of.
hairdresser. I love to talk.
We've gone way beyond 3 minutes and
All
we
right.
do,
Well,
we
thank
do
you
have
for your
business to take
time.
care of.
Please do reach out.
Okay, any other public comment? Okay, next on the agenda, mayor's comments. Chief, are you present as well?
He's out talking.
Okay, I just wanted to kind of update the council a little bit on conversations we've been having in-house. as we prepare for this budget as well as budgets going forward as far as capital planning, long-term planning. Hiring is a problem. We know it's a problem. We struggle to get people to show up to the tests, and when we do, many times they don't pass. We have a couple potential departures this year. We're staring at 3 potential retirements next year. So that's up to 5 potential people we could be losing. So we're proceeding with the hiring process, the testing process. And as we work through candidates that are qualified and pass the different steps, as we see qualified candidates, we're going to work them all the way through the process with the hopes that we can find other candidates to potentially hire. And I would say be ahead of any potential departments, but necessarily by the time they complete the academy, get out of an FTO and get on their own, we really wouldn't be ahead of anything at that time. So just as we roll into budget conversations, both for this next year and years going forward, I kind of wanted the council to understand why we're proceeding down that path, that it's not necessarily something that appears to be sprung on you. Chief, I was just mentioning the hiring process as we kind of proceed to try to latch on to every qualified candidate that we see and work them all the way through the process. And if in the ability that we land on somebody that we could hire, we're going to work through that.
Yep. Yeah. It's I mean, those who have served with the badge, they know, you guys know what the struggle is. You know, you get somebody and now it's 16 weeks of academy, 16 weeks FTO. That doesn't include the process of getting them on board. So somebody goes out the door, you're 9 months behind trying to fill that spot. So I'm trying to get ahead of the game. Plus there's possible people leaving and possible retirements next year.
And it can be complicated getting academy dates and times too.
Yeah.
There's a lag time that adds to the process there as well. So
Yeah. And I got 2 locked in already this time. So
Chief, are there 2 academies like there used to be? One at the
there's more than 2. There's State Police, there's Southwestern, there's our Sauk Valley. There's 2 other ones down in not Macomb, but Decatur, and then PTI in Champaign. So there's at least 5 I know. But thanks.
okay, city council comments, members of council. Anyone? Okay.
I do think, I just want to say, and I know the city administrator, I do, you know, the Thrill of the Hill was tough. I do think that everybody made the right decision and we got it in. And so I just want to give kudos. Lots of hard decisions made that day. And I think everybody did a fantastic job, and communication was really spot on too, which is very helpful.
Yeah, I'm glad you bring that up too, because it reinforces the point of the conversations that I know I have as mayor, and I know many of you do as council folks. And very much like the question about the fountain, when you engage the public and talk to them about some of the reasons behind some of these things we do, so far everybody's walked away understanding. But first reaction of the public so many times is to just have so many assumptions about how things are, like just move it to the next day. Well, they don't understand contracts, timelines on when these decisions have to be made, et cetera. And then when you take the time to explain that, they're like, okay, I get it. It's a much harder process than that. So just another example of having good communication with the public. Any other council comments? Okay, city administrator comments, Brandon.
Yeah, well, I think you guys just did a great job talking about it. So, but I just wanted to thank all of our partners, staff, the council, and other volunteers who help with it. It was a day of difficult decisions. And as the mayor said, you know, that's kind of the common follow-up question we get about canceling versus not canceling. But every fireworks vendor we've ever worked with, there's always a call that you have to make in the morning. And that's a forecast-based call. When they start dropping shells, you bought that show for that day. When the show date, when it was called to shoot, we did push back the ground show. We're going to get a credit for that because the forecast was rain at about 4 p.m., strong storms, and then a clearing evening, 6 p.m. on. That was the forecast at 10 a.m. But we did proceed with the aerial show. And so we bought that show. We had to shoot that night. A lot of people don't understand that. And that's a lot to explain on social media or on the event invite. So those shells have to go up. And yeah, I'm glad we shot when we did. We did because we would have been shooting at probably 11 p.m. if we would have waited, and probably only would have had a few people in the park. So pray for better weather next year.
Yeah, and I think it's important to thank the public that stuck with us too, because I will say when I pulled up there at 7:30 or whatever time it was, I was surprised, pleasantly surprised at how many people were sitting there. So
Yeah.
Just a testament to the community and the way people stick with things too.
Yeah, VFW had a good night. They said they sold out almost all their food, which I was shocked to hear. But
Yep.
a lot of people did come back and hung around till that 8:30 shoot. So we appreciate everybody, and we've got a lot of positive feedback that they're glad that Geneseo did shoot fireworks that night when almost everything else around the area was canceling that weekend. So.
Okay, next on the agenda, item number 10 would be Finance Director comments. 10.1 would be the Treasurer's Report and Capital Assets Report as submitted.
Okay, Jamie's out tonight. She did provide the standard financial reports for your review. One of the things she did want to mention, one of the things that stands out on the reports for this month is that we did receive our first tax levy distribution into revenues. The next one, this is the big one that came through. The next one will be in September. So we can talk through anything that you guys like, or else we will go ahead and talk about the actual projects that we're in. And each department can give their capital update.
Let's see here. The utility roof at the power plant. We did do the 50% deposit that will start in August for that replacement. That is the last roof that we have to replace, the flat roof. The industrial loop that has been completed. Culvert Court underground. The line crew has set devices, pulled wire, terminated. We are getting set up to do some small outages to transfer businesses to the underground or the pad mount transformers and tear down the overhead lines that go in between there. And that project should be done here by the end of the week or into next week. Pole replacement on Chestnut Street. We did start the project, unfortunately, sooner than we anticipated with a semi hitting one of the poles yesterday. But once they are done with Culvert Court, we will move on to Chestnut and replace those 17 poles. The planning study is still going on with BMHG. Still collecting data, going through MISO bills, having them understand how all that works to get a better understanding. Wind turbine 1 generator failure. We should be bringing something back to the committee of the whole here in July. I've been working with the insurance company, getting them all the information they need. They have done their investigative report. There's some information that you just requested today on lost revenue for that mechanical breakdown also. But we will come to council and discuss what the future is for that, whether we replace the generator, we decommission it, or we repower at a later date. Any questions?
Yeah, the school element, the planning study, when do they estimate that should be done?
We were hoping to have that done here before our budget so that we kind of get an idea in that budget on the stuff that we need to address. It will become fairly close to the budget. We might get some preliminary.
Will it be a complete study, or will it be like stage 1, stage 2?
No, this is a complete study. This will look at how we purchase our energy, what our generation looks like, what our distribution looks like, where do we need to address what certain issues. You know, if you go to the power plant, a lot of our stuff is old, 1950s, 60s, radiators and stuff like that. And it's been well maintained, you know, and we've done a lot of replacing motors and motor starters and stuff like that. But it's just, you know, the way the energy market is right now, today, I can tell you we are generating right now because prices are well over $300 a megawatt when normally it's $30, $40 a megawatt. And with the heat wave that we've had, I mean, tomorrow's $800 a megawatt. So if we didn't have the power plant, that's what we would actually be buying on the market, which, you know, is 80 cents.
And that's going to be part of the planning study, right?
They'll look at all of it on whether or not potentially we need to add capacity, add generation for future and retire some of the older units, or could be in the cards, and kind of look at the mix of what we actually need to make things better 10, 15 years from now. Any other questions? A couple.
Couple updates on Public Works to talk about the North Water Tower. You can see it is completed, it is painted. We do have about 10 punch list items the contractor has to finish up on. But other than that, the overall paint and everything is completed. We are still working. I believe Tyler met with Dalton, and they're putting together the documents so we can get the lead line replacements out to bid. Now that the water tower is back in service, we don't have any issues with demand on water or potentially breaking something on Chicago Street and draining the system. We're going to resume work on the abandonment of the 4-inch water main on Chicago Street. Lauren briefly touched on well 33. Yes, we do have the stormwater protection or source water protection plan completed. Like you said, the EPA has required a couple more documents on sampling procedures, and I believe it's well 32. They wanted some extra samples on that we got to take. Wastewater, we do have a jet truck. It was delivered after, I think it was around the end of June 25th or something. So that is done, completed. Phosphorus removal for Donahue is still working on the final design and the final construction drawings. We will probably have an update, or we'll have Donahue here for next meeting, or else I will talk about the actual project itself a little more into detail. Lauren gave an update on that. The pickleball court resurfacing, all weather courts, I spoke with them. I believe it was like 2 weeks ago. The rain and now the extreme heat has delayed them. So they will be giving me about a week notice when they'll be here so we can get out on social media and advertise of when the pickleball courts will be closed for the resurfacing. And Tailoridge paving, they are doing the railroad track abutments. They have had issues with the heat, and they will probably within the next couple weeks be doing that track abutments, the HMA track abutments. Street sweeper, they did tell us 2 weeks ago it will be delivered by the end of this month. And then Lauren touched base on North State Street, which I think is going very well. He touched base on the Chicago Street sidewalk, and then as you all know, the annual street overlay from the 2024 mishaps have been completed, and we just have a couple valve boxes and manholes we'll be readjusting. That is it. Yes, sir. Water conservation.
Just for seasonal conservation, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's put in place annually now every year.
Yep.
So when does it start?
May through September every year.
May, yep.
Yep.
Yep. Yep. So.
The 2 Ford Explorers are made, so we're getting quotes for the equipment. I might have underestimated the cost of one because we're gonna have to add another video camera system into it. So I might have to come back and ask for some more funds there. We're cutting back some of the items on that squad car that are not absolutely 100% necessary. So no, seats are definitely necessary. No Dodge Charger. So we'll see how it goes. Jameson's working on that now to try to figure that out. The fencing at the range, that probably is going to start here. It should start here by the end of this month.
The project with that range is going to be done.
No, because next year I'm going to be asking to, wrap the fence. Yeah, it's going to be.
Is the green building still coming down this year?
I don't know about. It could happen. It could happen at the fall. Yeah.
Okay.
After harvest. No, that thing is not going to go down. No, that thing's.
Are we taking it down? Oh, okay.
And then 82 flat camera, all that is a go. So I'm just waiting on them to say, hey, we're here. Any questions?
Thanks, Chief. Admin.
Yeah, and then admin, so the only things in progress. And this is a great report too for, we have all these projects on here, including the water fountain project for people in the public to check on, just like the questions and public comment. Each month we provide updates on these in this report, which is published online as well. So the fountain out front obviously is still in progress. We're not thrilled with the amount of time that it's taken. Obviously, that's fair to say. But hopefully that'll be wrapped up. Landscaping, the plantings will be going in around that, hopefully this week.
Oh, they will be done this week?
I'm not gonna say that, but
Yeah. I
they
would-
have plantings left and a little bit of additional trim work on the brick. As Lauren said, we don't have an update from DNR, so there really is no further discussion on pedestrian bridge at this time. That's it.
Motion to approve the treasurer's report and capital asset reports as submitted.
Motion by Arnold. Second by Rothschild. Roll call.
Sorry. Barnhart,
Yes.
Rothschild,
Yes.
Chavez,
Yes.
James.
Yes.
Arnold.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item number 11 would be the consent agenda.
Okay, 11.1, approval of previous meeting minutes. Committee of the Whole, June 23rd, 2026. Special City Council, June 23rd, 2026. Regular Council, June 9th, 2026. 11.2 is R-26-14 Cemetery Rules and Regulations Revisions. And 11.3 Omnibus Method.
Motion to approve using the omnibus method and to approve items 11.1 through 11.3.
Motion by Arnold. Second by Chavez. Roll call.
Arnold?
Yep.
James?
Yes.
Chavez?
Yes.
Barnhart?
Yes.
Rothschild?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. No unfinished business. There we go. Next, under administration, item 13.1 would be the discussion of a potential amendment to section 26-22, the loud and unnecessary noise.
So this is a first look tonight that we wanted to bring to council. We're bringing this to your attention for discussion. We've recently had some complaints over in the Olivia Drive new subdivision, new condo build out. In regards, there's obviously being new condos being built out there. We're in some hot periods right now. The contractors were starting before 7 a.m. Police department's gotten numerous complaints, I believe, well, from one individual on numerous days. So it's raised the discussion on this. We do have a noise ordinance here in Geneseo. Residential areas, it does restrict construction noise from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. In commercial districts, you may begin construction noises at 6 a.m. We had some conversations with Ansel Glink and Dirk on this and tried to get a feel for what other communities do. Some of our internal discussion is construction projects like this in the summer. We know that contractors start on jobs before 7 a.m. And I think it's been a generally accepted practice on hot days and in most situations. But we haven't really dealt with complaints to this magnitude like this. Talking with Dirk, a lot of other clients and communities give leniency for summer months in their code or just by some kind of variance process, right? So we want to bring this to you guys to discuss. We did put together a little bit of draft language where we could provide a revision. One of the things Rick, the mayor, and we talked about today was that what we drafted still has a little bit of subjectivity in it. It says it would allow the building inspector to basically grant a variance to start at 6 a.m. One of the things we think maybe we should talk about is just providing a little bit more objectivity to this and saying that do we want to say, if the council thinks this is a good idea, that we look at June through September as months that if it's a project that somebody pulls a building permit for, so we have controls, we're aware of the project. This is mainly going to be, large construction projects. It's not somebody just fixing siding on their house or something like that. They would come in, get a permit, and then be able to be granted working hours at 6 a.m. to start earlier in the summer months. So that's just kind of spewing it all out there for you guys to take from there.
I don't know how that solves the problem though. Problem is people are complaining about the early time. So what if it's a summer that's decent weather? I mean, you say it's hot weather, but what if there are no hot days and they started at 6 a.m.?
Yeah, that's a good point, Craig, because I think Rick, thinking of another builder in town that we haven't had issue in that part of town, I think it's routine for them to start at 6 a.m. in the summer months. So that's a good point, Craig. I think the unfortunate situation with this is, and I think Rick, you would agree, this has been a long-standing practice that has never, it's become more of a dispute than it really has a specific, I don't know quite how to say that, but I think in this case, the person could be starting at 6:59. There'd still be a complaint filed. Maybe that puts it into a better context. So
It does, but when they get the permit, or do they understand that it's 7 a.m. start time? Or is there nothing that really states if they didn't ask, they just start whenever they want to
yeah,
start?
it's just it's like so many things in government. I get asked about as mayor. Well, how come you didn't? There's so much of what we do is routine and it's historical and it's been like past practice. Until some of these things are raised, like no, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Rick counsels each person when they pull a building permit on what the actual hours
Not
are.
the council, just give them a sheet of paper that says this is the rules.
Right. So
Just in a,
I kind
Mayor?
of wonder, oh, go ahead,
I'm
Martin.
sorry, I'm just gonna say that just because somebody starts at 6 o'clock does not mean there's an exorbitant amount of noise
Yeah, that's what I said.
being produced. So this is something that even if we get with a contractor and say, look, if you want to start at 6 because of the heat and so forth, just understand, you've got to be respectful of the ordinance of trying to keep the noise down. We don't care if you start at 6, but the big machines and that's not going to start until 7.
right, but I think Chief agree. Put yourself in the right. It's just then it becomes what we don't want to do is have it so subjective, and then it becomes a dispute on site as to what your interpretation of noise is and what the officer's determination of noise is compared to what that resident complaining is. I think, and I think very much about the legislation that was before Springfield down there, where the governor was looking at the same type of situation. Now, granted, that was a bit more extreme, where I think it was 82 degrees. They didn't want people working in weather like that. So, there is an awareness amongst the entire region that it gets awfully darn hot in the summer, and some reasonable concessions have to be made. I don't know. I had a roof put on the house behind me. They were there at 5:30. I never complained because I knew the neighbor needed a roof and it's going to last 4 or 5 days. I don't know, but not everybody shares that mindset.
Well, the roof's not good when it's hot. You're not doing the shingles any good.
Right.
So I understand it too. I had a mowing contractor at 5:30 in the morning. I was out watering flowers and what? Nobody complained.
But I did think tying it to the building permit process like that is a really critical component, because it does prevent the guy, like Brandon says, that just wants to get up at 5 a.m. to fix his siding because it's hot out. I don't know. It does specifically tailor it towards certain types of projects, I guess, per se, where there may be other workers that, where you're trying to help reduce the risk to employees and things of that nature.
I could see doing I'm in favor of it. I could see doing maybe kind of what Craig saying. It'd be nice to have a variance ability that the building inspector could, someone could say, hey, it's going to be 95 next week. We'd like to start early, and case by case. The only other thing, and I was just going to mention, is I feel like it's different on a weekday versus a weekend, and absolutely needed to be done and nothing wrong. But, on a Saturday morning, our neighbor was out trimming, and I'm like, 7 a.m. on Saturday. Come on, my one day to sleep in, and someone's out right outside my window cutting down a tree. But, I guess it would be nice if we're going to do something, to think about, there's a difference between someone building a house and, again, a person just going out and making, I don't know, 7 a.m. on a Saturday seems awfully early too. But I'm solely sympathetic. And if it's a really hot day, we got to think about people's safety and all
Right.
that. And that trumps, someone's concern. So that's where I was like, it feels like we should have some ability to have some sort of a variance. Yeah.
And I think, that was some of the feedback we got. It's, the difference between, are you going to support, these are new subdivisions going in versus, your neighbor waking up with a chainsaw on Saturday morning and running it, still preventing, all of those random acts, but supporting the new development and the time and being in the heat that it takes to build those new homes.
I'd say go ahead and make the adjustment and see if you get any more complaints. And if you don't, great, leave it. If you do, adjust it. That's not a good reason.
Just so, I guess, for the staff's sake, are you clear on what that means, Brandon, or would you like?
Well, I guess the question would be, looking at the draft that we have, if Eric wants to pull that up.
Does like May through September or June, July, August, September, the 4 hot months, does that make sense, or?
I'd say June. I think May is a little early. It doesn't get hot until June, July, August. I think even September's, is it still warm in December?
September can be pretty hot anymore.
Yeah, I'd
I
say
would agree with
June
you
through
on May more
September.
than, yeah.
It's also getting daylight so early.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to give us that direction to add those months in and then come back with something that's a little bit more objective with those months when somebody pulls a permit, the ability.
And then
to
maybe
start.
next year, come back and just give us you have any complaints? Was
See
anything
how it's
going on
going.
or
Yeah.
just from that?
You got to think about public safety or worker safety.
You got a motion to recommend a special city.
Am I making a motion or what am I doing here?
If you want to motion it and for the staff to add in the language about the summer months and bring it back to a special meeting is what the motion. would be.
Motion to recommend the amended language of section 2622 to include the months June through September and bring it back to the special council meeting on 7/28/26.
Motion by Arnold,
I'll second.
second by Barnhart. Roll call.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Rothschild.
Yes.
Arnold.
Yes? You're not marking any of this down.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item number 14 would be the payment of city and utility bills.
Motion to approve the city bills as presented.
Motion by Arnold,
Second.
second by James. Roll call.
Barnhart,
Yes.
Rothschild,
Yes.
Arnold,
Yes?
Chavez,
Yes.
James.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item number 15 would be public comment related to all other items. City ordinance allows members of the public to speak and give input up to 3 minutes. During public comment, there can be no debate or action by the city council at this time.
Can I bring something up?
Sure, you can lead us off, Craig.
All right, can we, I met with the senator last week, our Illinois state senator, talking about that train. Can we do something about either designing a contingency plan or something? Because it doesn't sound like this thing's going through. Sounds like it's a perpetual, let's wait and see, and we're sitting on land that could be developed.
Brandon and I talked about that after we talked about it this afternoon on the phone, and I think Brandon's going to look to bring Denise forward.
Yeah, our conversation was, we're trying to get IDOT to come and present and take questions publicly with you guys. Those dates have been pushed back a couple times. They're waiting to see what happens with some of the federal funding grant extensions. But like the mayor said, we just talked, and I'm going to ask Denise from By State if she will come to the committee meeting on the 28th and kind of be a kickoff to Denise. As we've explained before, has been around since this whole rail coming to Moline thing started in the late 90s. To give us a nice history lesson recap, talk about how did Geneseo become part of the conversation. Let's take a look at past councils that voted on things, resolutions to include Geneseo. What does that look like? How long ago was that? And then, if you want to talk to her about, because there's been this time gap, if we want to try to re-engage you guys and the public to talk about, should we be getting more feedback about this? How does our community actually feel? That's what Bi-State does. So we could engage them on what their thoughts are on how to do that, and maybe a
So how
starting
do they
point
do a
without.
survey? They do a survey of the of the city?
That's what that's kind of one of their specialties is how they help
Yeah.
municipalities. So I don't know how they would do that, but I know they specialize in helping, vet those types of discussions for communities.
Yeah, unless
across
she's
the
bringing,
country.
because when I talked to the senator, he had no definite plans or nothing. Everything's up in the air. Well, it's been up in the air for 15 years. And
Yeah.
it sounds like it could be up in the air for another 15 years.
Well, more frustrating than that is the fact that the individuals from IDOT don't even want to come present. I understand they're waiting. I get the fact they're waiting on, a commitment of the federal extension or not. But this program has been viable, talked about for so long. They have to have an idea of what this fork in the road looks like compared to this fork, if they get the money or if they don't. I just don't understand why they can't come and talk in context, just in simple context, nothing committed about what that might look like. So I think if we could start with Bi-State and their history locally and go down the path of helping solicit our community for more up-to-date pulse on the public acceptance of the train idea or not, or utilization of it, et cetera. And let's start with that and see how they can help us with that.
yeah, I'm not really interested in the history of it because that's the past, but the
Well,
survey,
I
I would.
kind of am, because one thing Brandon and I talked about, has anybody from IDOT ever even presented to this council?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, there are some things historically, how did Geneseo get the history of how we got, not into this, that's like a poor way of saying it, but how did we get here to begin with? I'd kind of like to know some of that.
Yeah, I just don't, if she's not coming with answers, I don't, besides doing the survey,
Right.
which I'm all for. But if besides that, I mean, if she's not going to come with any answers because she's the same way. She doesn't know whether they're going to finance it or not finance it. And it's just
No,
gonna go
no,
round
not-
and round and round.
Not in that respect, no.
Yeah.
It's the late 90s, that's longer than 15 years
Mhm.
that it's been going on.
I agree.
We haven't
Second.
got anywhere.
Okay. But let's try to get those wheels in motion. We'll start with that, but
So you're doing the survey first. She's going to come and then she's going to do the survey, or how does that?
we're gonna have a presentation by State, hopefully,
I'll see if she can come on the 28th.
and talk about if they could help us as a community or give us recommendations towards surveying our public.
They do that for us. Isn't that a service they provide or not, or what
Yeah.
are they?
Hopefully.
Yeah, they can help
Yeah,
us. Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
All right, good.
Ann?
Yeah, I have one.
Okay.
Is there a sidewalk going to be constructed from Smith Street to the new subdivision so the kids can walk on it instead of having to worry about walking along the highway?
We're ahead of you. We've had those conversations in-house. There's a partial connection now, without getting too deep into this, from the east side of the new subdivision into the high school kind of athletic center parking lot. So we're hoping of proceeding down that path of making that into a more permanent sidewalk solution for access to State, that would ultimately be North State, Smith Street, that entire area. But we are very well aware of the fact that we have a growing addition with young families. And when they put it in, like other things that were not probably done the best in hindsight, there was no sidewalk. So we're working through those things now.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, without any other public comment, a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Arnold,
Second.
second by Barnhart. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We're adjourned.
Why?